functioning, slightly faded. My name is Julie, and today I have a few things to talk about, obviously including this fucking heat wave. It's been kind of impossible to ignore, but at least it finally broke yesterday, although I literally almost died. But before I get there, I want to throw out an idea that I was thinking about and talking to some people about. I might start filming the episodes on my phone separately so I can post short clips of funny or interesting moments. Unfortunately, because I'm kind of a novice editor and have another legitimate full-time career and other shit to do, at this point I'm not going to release a fully edited video episode because that would literally take me forever to edit and it might not turn out that good. But maybe in the future, who knows, maybe I'll get really good at this. But let me know your thoughts on posting short clips like that. I mean, I want to know what you guys think, but I think it could kind of be fun. I was actually going to do that for the first time on this episode, but I self-tanned a little bit ago, and I'm not showering until after I film this, and I look inappropriately tanned, 1. And 2, I'm not even wearing a cute outfit to be on camera. So, sorry guys, I didn't want to have to wash the tanner out of a cute outfit, so maybe next time. I kind of want to put myself out there a little bit and ask, why does Benson Boone get so much hate? Don't get ahead of yourself. I know that might sound kind of out of pocket, but I'm definitely not a stan or even a fan. I wouldn't classify myself as qualifying as a fan of his, but he objectively has a good voice, and I feel he's finding his sound, and he's still early in his career. It's definitely not all the kind of music that I listen to all the time, but I feel he has enough talent that it's worth watching him. I don't know, but he's also a Mormon, so he's learning to adjust to normal life, give him a break. I will say, usually though, I absolutely hate when someone tries to do the whole reheating Harry Styles nachos thing, but at least he isn't trying to do the long hair Harry look from 10 years ago, because not everyone can pull that off, though many have tried during 2014 to 2015, and it was not a cute look. Kind of like when Cameron Dallas tried to do what Zayn did with the piece of hair, and it just would look stringy and not good whatsoever. It was you shouldn't have embarrassed yourself. All right, oops, well, I'm showing my age again, On top of that, we're literally in a hairy drought, maybe the worst hairy drought of all time. So microdosing Harry by embracing Benson Boone, instead of meeting this man with hate like so many others, is keeping my broken hairy heart at bay. I mean, the backflips give me fucking anxiety, and I'm not about that. I've never been about someone that is just flipping around inappropriately because it stresses me out, but obviously on a lesser scale. But this whole Harry Styles Benson Boone thing to me is it must be how recovering addicts feel when they take Suboxone. I mean, I don't know if it is on a lesser scale though, because you guys know how much I love Harry. They literally put a DSM diagnosis created for me describing that condition, Emily SK actually just texted me the other day telling me how much she missed Harry too. And it really hit a nerve with me because, girl, me too, As long as he is happy and healthy and everything else, nothing really matters. Even if it broke my own heart, our bond truly is so strong that sometimes when I really miss Harry, I find myself doing dangerous shit, getting on the back of people's motorcycles, jumping off cliffs into the ocean, It's just something about that adrenaline rush that has Harry appearing to me almost as an apparition telling me, turn back, be safe, don't do this, Julie, don't jump. I mean, of course, it always ends in me and Harry's clairvoyant sister traveling to Italy to stop him from asking the Volturi to end his life because he thinks I killed myself. But of course, me and Gemma get there on time to save the day, and the Volturi demand I be turned into a vampire because, fucking vampire rules or whatever. But Harry says, let me put a ring on that thing, girl, first, and then roll credits, etc., yada, yada, the rest. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That was actually Twilight New Moon. How silly me. I guess me and Harry just really have that Edward Bella deep vampiric connection. You guys just really wouldn't understand. I'm sorry. General PSA, man, women, children, whatever. If you haven't seen the Twilight movies, you have to see them. Even if you're a dude or you think you're too cool or whatever, or they're old or whatever, I don't know. Watching those movies back is literally life-changing. You all need to do it. Especially when you watch it all in full, by the time you get to the last one, it's oh my god, what a finale. It's great. And honestly, the effects aren't bad. And the blue filter on the first movie is so iconic. I'm me and Joe's engagement shoot has the blue Twilight filter. I wouldn't actually want that, but maybe in another world. Oh my god, speaking of watching a movie series back to back, especially an amazing one, last year, Joe and I went skiing. And he low-key got sick with, like, food poisoning or something. I don't even know, but he was really sick, and we had to abandon the skiing part of the trip and just head back to the house we were staying at, where I kind of forced Joe to binge-watch every Hunger Games movie with me. And you know my mentally ill ass was obsessed with the Hunger Games books when I was younger. They've changed my life. And the movies. Come on. Especially reading them right at the time the movies were coming out. Like, that was so perfect. We were in the perfect age range for that. Jennifer Lawrence, the woman that you are. Obviously, we love Josh Hutcherson in this house, too. You know, I made Joe watch Five Nights at Freddy's, too. It's actually a good movie. You guys should watch it. But Joe is sick as fuck, literally being held against his will, watching 5 movies back-to-back that are all, like, 2.5 hours long. And I was literally, like, sobbing during parts of the movie and gasping and shit. Like, as if I'd never seen the movies before. Like, as if this was the most monumental film I've ever seen of all time, and I'm watching it for the first time. Although I've seen them all like 10 times, and I've read the books multiple times too. But that was one of my favorite book series of all time. You know, me, Mickey, Tara, and my brother's now wife, Maddie, used to all go see those movies in theaters when they premiered together. It was so fun. Allie did go with us a couple times, but sometimes she'd have like sports and stuff. But that's when we all knew Maddie was a real one. They're all so good, all those movies, to be honest, but seeing Catching Fire in the movie theater and seeing that arena for the first time, the clock, speechless. It was amazing. It was so beautiful. And then, like, never forget, and they introduced the hunkiest guy in the whole series, Sam Claflin. Moment of silence for Finnick, everyone. I'm still not over it. You know, rewatching the movies reminded me that I'm actually still not over a lot of things that happened in Mockingjay personally, but maybe I should speak with a professional about that. And of course, this all was happening because I was making Joe watch The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for the first time, which I had seen in theaters a few months before. Obviously, that movie is amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, you should. But let's take a second to appreciate Can't Catch Me Now by Olivia Rodrigo. That song is legit perfect. The Hunger Games movies always have the best soundtracks. You know, Lorde was on it. Taylor Swift was on it. Obviously, Olivia Rodrigo was on it. There's another one that is so obvious to me. Charlie XCX was on it too. Like, so many people, so many great songs. It's crazy. They also had the best features. It's so beautiful and magical and so on theme and so Hunger Games Can't Catch Me Now. It perfectly captures the beauty and the pain of all the characters in the story, in the series, and in Panem. Anyways, stream it if you haven't for some reason. But getting back to The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Poor Joe was trying to fight off a fever, and I'm barking at the TV when young Corleone Snow got a buzz cut and took his shirt off. Joe just isn't a real movie appreciator, I guess, if he wasn't reacting to that part of the movie the same way I was. I'm like, girl, why would you run away in fear? I'd be like, your secret's safe with me, babe. And then I would get killed. But I guess a fun fact about me, if you don't know, is that I love movies. I love them. You know, I've seen a lot of movies and TV, to be honest, a lot of different series, too. I've taken many lit, cinema, etc. kind of classes in my life, probably more than the average nurse has. And I've also seen like 10,000 YouTube video essays that are commentary on movies, TV, screenwriting, etc. and things in that industry. So I basically deserve an honorary doctorate for the work that I've put in all the hours. Kidding. I think part of my love of film comes from my innate ability to emotionally project on any movie, musical, show, conversation I overhear, situation someone is trying to get my advice on, etc. You know, us real empaths know how difficult that is. I'm kidding. I literally hate when people say that. It's like, I think being an empath should be the default. Like, maybe you're a little bit more sensitive and a little more emotional, but I'm more concerned when someone isn't an empath than when they are. But now that I'm a little older, I feel like I'm known to kind of cry while watching movies and TV. It might sound insane, but like a couple years ago, I watched Elvis, the one with Austin Butler, for the first time. And like, I know he like put on the accent and everything, but like, the movie's really good. And I watched it again like a day or two later, I think, with Tara and Joe, and I don't know why. I think it's because there was literally nothing else on. We were like, let's just pick something. When we got to the end of the movie, I was sobbing the entire end. And before you can all comfort me, I'm not an Elvis stan by any means. Like, obviously he's made great music. He had a huge impact on, like, culture and everything. But I know he was a weird guy, and the whole thing with Priscilla was weird and everything. I'm aware. But he really was emotionally manipulated by, and many people actually, and practically enslaved by his crazy manager. The whole situation is so disturbing to me, and especially watching the movie, like, where you're in the zone and it's, like, from his perspective, it's, like, I couldn't control myself. But Tara and Joe were like, girl, are you seriously bawling right now? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You are so unserious. What the hell? But this is not necessarily an uncommon occurrence for me. Like, I do be crying watching things. I have, like, no self-control. But I used to go to the movies all the time. at least like once a month on average or so. But unfortunately, last winter in 2024, me and Joe were just like last minute, like, oh, let's go to the movies. We just picked like a random movie to go see, and like nothing crazy, but I caught something out of the corner of my eye. It was like a flicker of light, and they had just dimmed the lights for like the previews that are like closer to the start of the movie. So the movie hadn't even started yet, and it was like there was no one in the theater, and it was like one of the older theaters in that movie theater, but I was like, I swear to God, I think that's a rat. Like, I just knew. My stomach dropped. And I was like, I don't want to look. I'm so scared. I'm going to cry. But then I looked, and it was a huge rat. It was fucking ginormous. And I saw it, like, drop down into the row below us. And I was like, well, thank God it's out of our row. But when it comes back towards this direction, like, I'm going to freak out. I can't handle this. I hate rodents. I'm so scared. They're so dirty. I'm freaking out. And so then I get Joe, and I tap Joe. He's right next to me. And I'm like, Joe. And I'm like, do you see that? Do you see it? Because I needed him to see it, because otherwise no one was going to believe me. And it was definitely a rat. He tried to save his mouth, but was like, no, I grew up in an area, I know what a fucking field mouse is. And I know what a field mouse is not. And that is not. That thing is huge. So then I'm like, he stands up, I stand up. He's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? The movie's about to start. And I'm like, I don't think you're hearing me, like, in a panic. Like, I do not honestly give a fuck what you do, but you need to move because you're blocking the exit, and I'm about to have a panic attack. Like, actually, I'm having one. Like, I can't keep this in right now. I was like, I'm going to push you out of my way. The anxiety was real, and so was the panic attack, obviously. But TLDR, I haven't been in the movie since then because I'm scared to see another rat. You know, I'd love to go. I'd love to get over this. You know, my brother wanted to see Dune 2 last year in theaters, and I was like, yes, I've been dying to see this movie. I want to see it. And, like, so many movies have come out that I've been wanting to see in theaters, you know, Eras Tour, you know. But it's like, I can't. At least I have a big flat screen TV, but, like, that's essential. I'm sorry, but, like, I would rather have no bed frame and sleep in a mattress on the floor than have no big screen TV. And the way things are priced, not that crazy for that to be a swap out. It's worth it. If you guys ever, like, need a new TV, or you're saving up a little more money and you're thinking about doing it, like, it's life-changing. It's my dad was always the king of the big TV. Like, he has a ginormous TV that we all gave him for Christmas a couple years ago. And when I was younger, I kind of was like, oh, Dad, like, you're so drama. Like, it's not a big deal. You get used to the small screen, but it's so much better on the big screen. It's just so much better. And when Joe and I first started dating and I went over his house, I was like, I mean, the way their house is laid out, there's not really, like, necessarily a good spot for a giant TV because it like the couch has to be at an angle in the room it's in. It's like, I was like, no big screen TV. Like, I can't even watch TV here. This is just pissing me off. I'm like, if it's going to be a small screen, it's going to be my laptop on my lap or my phone in my hand, you know? But I want to go back to the movies. It's just so amazing, and scary movies are so good in the theater, and it's such a good bonding thing, and it's such a good date night, and just fun thing to do. And I appreciate movies so much, and there's so many movies that are better seen in theater. Obviously, I was seeing Top Gun Maverick in theaters, and I just haven't been back since, and it's been like a year and a half now. I can't. The whole time I'm going to be in a panic attack, afraid that a rat is going to touch me. And I don't fuck with having that crazy tweaker vibe and, like, squirming in my seat and being like, I got to get out of here, you know? On to another topic, but still, I guess, on the same thing, because this is about a TV show, but I finally gave into the ads and started watching Adults. It's on FX, but I've been watching it on Hulu, and I don't know if I'd compare it to the level of Girls, Friends, How I Met Your Mother, New Girl, and other iconic shows people have been comparing it to a lot, but it's a new show, and it's pretty good, you know? I feel like it will feel out its rhythm as it goes on. It's one of those classic, the comparison is because all the people live in the same apartment. I don't think the humor and the dynamic is the same. It's definitely different, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just isn't the same. But they all live, like, in a house in New York. I think they live in Queens, versus obviously some of those were apartments. But that's not the reason that I think that they're a little bit more different. But I think it's feeling out its rhythm as it goes on. And if you've seen it, you already know that I'm in love with Paul Baker. I can't resist a himbo with curly brown hair. His girlfriend Issa on the show reminds me a lot of Bella from Sex Lives of College Girls. And I know what you guys are thinking. Julie Bella can be so fucking cringe. But I love her. She was hilarious. She made the show. Who cares if she's cringe? Have you seen Sex and the City? Carrie Bradshaw's cringe. All these people are cringe. What's the other one? Never Have I Ever. Like, Davy's cringe too. But it's like that, it kind of makes it. Bella was like the best one because she made it the most interesting. I do mean that in the comparison of complimentary, because I do know people saying that about Bella, but I still like her. If the actress that plays Issa hears this, I want to know I meant that as a compliment. I do love her. But I will say, I do think Bella was objectively funnier, probably because she was more out of pocket and she was written to be like a comedian. But Issa is more realistic and more of like a normal person. And if you've seen the show, in like the first scene, they're on the subway or something, the train, and some weird old guy is like masturbating, looking at them. And so she sticks her hands in her pants and she's like, oh, you're going to do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. And obviously the guy liked that. And I was like, I can't even watch this. So sometimes she has her moments too. But other than things like that, she is relatively maybe more realistic than Bella, because Bella was crazy. But I haven't finished watching it yet, so I can let you guys know more thoughts as I keep watching it. But so far, it's pretty good. So you might want to check it out if you just like want to incorporate something that's like a funny show into your life. I also finally gave in to the hype for another new show that I just started watching last night when I was kind of prepping for this. Overcompensating. It's on Prime. I think people should definitely watch it. It definitely laughs at itself in a lot of moments. There's a lot of hyperbole to exaggerate things, or them like imagining things that are happening that are so cringy but they don't actually happen. So obviously it's dramatic, but that is part of the humor. But just don't be shocked when you watch it. And like maybe I was too high when I was watching it, but the only thing, really like the only thing I don't like is the way the audio was sounding when they would read text and stuff. And I do think that might have been just because I was so high watching it, but it just sounded so echoey. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't like the way this sounds. The voiceover just sounded weird. But I like the show otherwise. It's really good. Another one I definitely would say is worth checking out. The way they portray the people running the new student orientation are also hilariously accurate. Like, me and my friend Phelan always had this joke. Well, I don't know if it's really like a running joke as much as it was just a fucking hilarious observation that this one guy at our student orientation at UMass was, and I'm sure he was a nice guy, but he definitely was kind of like a kind of weird and like such the perfect stereotypical new student orientation leader or whatever. And he was so cringy. I think I have a video of him dancing, but I guess maybe I could yassify him from anonymity. But it's so that especially hit home with me, because I was like, I literally had this exact running joke with one of my friends because there was some guy that was exactly like all these people. The only thing that is really not accurate is that they were playing beer pong in the first or second episode with beer in the cups. And to me, that's nasty, bro. Like, that's asking for hairballs in your beer. It is more fun because then you drink the drink and it's like, okay, this is more fun than just drinking your own drink and then having to get like a refill or whatever. But like, the sentiment is still there. Although I'm drinking like a mixed drink, and if I was drinking beer, I probably wouldn't be getting as fucked up. And I have played it like that in high school and stuff, but then that was always like that was never when we were playing in like a garage or at a frat. That was like if we were somewhere that the floor was fucking cleaner, and obviously you need to have a water cup and stuff, but I prefer to just play with water and drink your own drink. It's just like nasty as hell when you do get something and there's dirt in it, because those balls have been a lot of nasty places. Ugh. But also props to the casting director. I feel like there's a lot of people that are recently blowing up. Like, one of the characters that was in Adults is in it. And a lot of people you guys would recognize. Mary Beth Barone plays Benny Drama's sister and everything. And it's just a really funny show. I like it a lot. And the guy who was on season 2 White Lotus, I think his name was like Alfie or something. He on White Lotus, and his name in this is Peter. I just cannot think of what the actor's name is right now, but he's also in it. He's pretty good. But on to another topic that I'm sure Benny Drama himself would appreciate. Lorde's new album was just released, and as you guys know, I've been loving all the singles so far, and I've been anxiously awaiting this. I've been so excited, you know. Every time Lorde drops an album, it's the defining album for the summer that I'm about to have. There's actually a dedication to me at the beginning of Stoned at the Nail Salon, thanking me and Janie for inspiration for the song, you know. And we don't have enough time today to dive into my love of melodrama, but for the melodrama lovers out there, don't think I forgot about her. Everyone will not shut the fuck up about summer 2016. Meanwhile, I'm still here in the Louvre in summer 2017 with no clue Look What You Made Me Do was going to drop at the end of the summer and change lives everywhere. Where's Reputation Taylor's version? No, I'm just kidding. But like, I do want Taylor's version, Look What You Made Me Do, that was on Handmaid's Tale, because it was perfect. And I would like the vault tracks because I love it. And also, this is going to be the third episode. I think I've mentioned this, but I'd also love I'd Lie from Taylor Swift, Taylor's version. I'd love for her to drop it. Now that she's been singing in the country bar at Tight End University or whatever, Tight Ass University, whatever the fuck it was. They didn't even deserve that. It's always the people that don't deserve it that are getting Taylor. The girlfriends, they might deserve it, but the people that weren't appreciative of that, they didn't deserve it. I don't even know what Tight End University is. Yeah, is that it? Yeah, Tight End University. It sounds like, I know what a tight end is. I'm not stupid, but it does sound funny when you say it out loud. It was like I think it's just maybe like the new people that are tight ends on the teams that are good that I'm not sure, but all the best to those people, but it should have been me. It should have been me. It should have been like someone that really loves Taylor there. Although the Swifties for Eternity or whatever account was there, which was pretty awesome. I was happy for her because she loves Taylor Swift. But she probably was going just in hopes that she was going to see her because it was a Travis Kelce event. Okay, so just like last episode, I almost caught myself going on a tangent immediately after saying I wasn't going to do that. I guess I did do that. It was just a tangent about something else than what I had just said. But Melodrama deserves her own fucking episode, okay? And let's get on to Virgin. Well, I have binged the singles an unhealthy amount of times already. As I'm filming this, Virgin dropped today. So far, I absolutely love it, but I'm not sure if I've settled onto my favorites yet. I mean, I'm going to be listening to it nonstop for probably the next 2+ months and into the future forever. And I'm sure I'm not going to shut the fuck up about it either. But for now, I'm still trying to kind of take in every detail because I've only listened to it like once or twice because I only have so much time in a day, But aside from the singles, I've really been liking Current Affairs, Broken Glass, If She Could See Me Now, David, of course, and oh my god, of course I love Clear Blue because this bitch loves to put something addictive in the shortest songs. Okay, I love all the songs, but like I was saying, I just don't know them well enough to really pick on a fave. They're like above all of them because I think they're all pretty good, I was 700,000 of the 19.7 million streams of Man of the Year, but I gotta give the other songs a chance, I can't just go with Man of the Year because that one came out like one of the first ones. But stay tuned for that. I'll update you guys once I decide. But let me know your faves though, if you guys have one yet, or because I guess this is going to come out in a few days, so at least you'll have a little more time to think about it. There's nothing better than a Lorde Summer though, so if you haven't participated before, now is a good time to start. So I know. You're all wondering what happened to my podcast episode I was gonna make with Shelby, Megan, and Kayla. So as some of you may know, I got tickets to Out Loud Fest over the weekend with some of my friends, and I was supposed to record a podcast episode with them. But unfortunately, that did not go as planned. So we did go to Out Loud Fest over the weekend, and it was a great time. But we've been in a heat wave here in Boston, and it was so sunny and hot that day. I was wearing my black, you can't spell Coachella without Charlie XCX shirt that Alicia actually got me at Coachella. And I had sunscreen on, but I didn't wear a hat. Like, it's kind of on me. I wasn't really thinking about it. I didn't really know what to expect, though, because I haven't been to Suffolk Downs since they had done the horse racing there when I was younger. And you literally walk by where the horse tracks was. It's, like, kind of sketchy. But I saw a butterfly when we were walking, and I was like, this is a sign it's going to be a great day. And so we go in, and, like, where they had the concert was, like, the lawn was really nice. They had great vendors, and it was such a good time. We got free McDonald's french fries, and they had all sorts of food. It was a great time. But there was literally no shade anywhere, and my Irish skin just could not handle the heat. It was like Mexico 2.0, where Joe and I got heat stroke, and we had to spend $800 for one night at the resort. That definitely hurt the wallet for sure, but luckily we got our money back for the flight we had to cancel because we obviously had to get another flight too. But at Out Loud Fest, I was nowhere near an AC or shade. Like, at least at the hotel I could go inside or get in the water or whatever. And they had like a hose thing that you could rinse yourself off in. But like, I wasn't trying to fuck up my makeup, and I didn't think that it was bothering me that much. I just thought I was like overheating and it was going to start cooling off soon, but it never did. And the sun was like bearing down on us. But there was no escape from it either. It was literally worse than when I was in Mexico too, because when I had heat stroke then, at least I wasn't nonstop vomiting. But I genuinely only had one drink at Out Loud Fest. I had like 2 drinks at the pregame maybe, and then we Ubered over there. And I had one drink like truly when we got there, and it was cold, but it was one of those days, if you guys know, then you know, like, I was literally thinking of, like, a super hot UMass tailgate that happened our senior year that we literally left early and then went swimming at this place Kayla's boyfriend, Alice, had told us about, well, I guess now her fiance, had told us about. I mean, they might have known about it otherwise, but I only knew about it through him. But I mean, I was hammered swimming. I, like, was going to slip, but it was fun. It was a great time. But I was literally thinking about that, and I was like, Shelby, I wish we could leave to go do that right now and, like, come back because I'm dying. I literally took one sip of that fucking Truly, and my first thought was, it is so hot outside. I just wish this was water. I wish this was something that was going to hydrate me. Like, I'll drink the Truly because I paid for it, like $15 or whatever. But my God, I wish this was something else. So after that, I switched over to water and soda, and because I had some soda with my pizza, like, sue me. But I was genuinely eating plenty of food and stuff, and I thought I was drinking enough. I probably wasn't drinking enough water. I already might have been dehydrated from the day before. Who knows? But Joe would give me many lectures. You don't want to be sick. You don't want to be sick. And he kind of made me nervous. And I was like, well, I wasn't thinking I was going to because I knew how hot it was going to be. I was trying to be responsible. I should have worn a fucking hat, though. But it was one of those days where you take a sip of your seltzer and you literally think, damn, I wish this was water. And that's when you know it's not going to be your day to get drunk. And I was like, well, I'll probably drink later once the sun goes down and it cools off a little bit. But, like, we're going to be here for so long. Like, I'm not going to make it to Trixie at the end and Rebecca Black and Kim Petras and everyone else. And I didn't. So we were there for a good amount of time. I was there for maybe like 3 hours or so. And I thought Megan was going to stroke out when Frankie Grande shouted out their mom, Joan, was in the audience. But then G-Flip got on stage and I got hit with a wave of severe nausea. And I was waiting in line. I just gone to the bathroom with Kayla and Shelby. And I was waiting in line at the hot dog stand or whatever with them. And I was like, I don't really feel that great. I'm going to go sit down. I just really don't feel good. And then I sat down, then they came back and Shelby handed me her Sprite and was like, hold this against your forehead. That might make you feel better. And I was like, how am I so nauseous right now? I haven't even, like, really drinking in hours. Well, I hadn't drinking in hours. And I hadn't really drinking, period. So I was like, it's not like I have alcohol poisoning. I've been trying to drink water. I just had drinking water like moments before. But all the free water they had wasn't hot, but it wasn't cold. It was like room temperature. And we could buy cold water, and I was about to, but I just, like, had been also drinking that water. But I'll spare you all the details. Long story short, I just puked on the lawn in front of everybody, and then I went to Uber home, and when I got in the Uber, I was like, hold up, because he moved 1 centimeter forward, and I was like, I gotta throw up, and I started uncontrollably throwing up, traumatized the Uber driver. But I did not puke in that car, guys, so no $200 fee. And I was like, he obviously didn't want to drive me back. So you throw up on you. I'm like, well, that was already there. But I was like, I'll just cancel it. I'd rather pay just the price of the $15 Uber to get back to my house, which is not far from here, than I would to have to pay $200 because I just puked all over your car. And then I called my hero, Alicia, who had gotten her in time so she didn't have to work. And she lives nearby, and she came and got me, which was a real hero move. I needed that because I had to get out of the sun. And even when I was sitting in the sun waiting for her, there wasn't like another area out front. I don't think they would have let me in the building because I saw some people try to go in. The security guard pointed them away. I mean, I think if I was like, I'm having a medical emergency, they might have let me in. If I was like, I'm nonstop throwing up, can I please come inside? But then I think they would have called an ambulance. I was concerned because I was waiting for a while just because there was so much traffic. Joe was going to come get me, but it was going to take him an hour to get there because of the traffic and where he was. And I was like, no. But I was really dying. I almost have never felt worse. The worst part about it all is that I was nonstop puking sober. Like, at least I was like telling people, like, if I was drunk, I might have felt worse because I would have been more dehydrated probably, although I was still dehydrated as fuck. But it just was so painful. It's like if you've ever like gone on a run on a too hot day and then you get sick. That was the exact feeling that I had, but it would not go away. Once I got home, Alicia, my queen, brought a doggy back. Thank God, she's so smart. But once I got home, Joe helped me get into the apartment because he had gotten there like just before or at the same time, and I literally made a 180-degree recovery once I was in the shade and in the AC. Like, that's really what I needed. But TLDR, I got heat stroke and had to leave Out Loud Fest. So we had to postpone their appearance on the pod. Boo, I know. Sorry, guys. But everyone was texting me, are you alive? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I am. And they came back after to get their stuff, and they gave me the Kim Petras flags from the event. And I'm like, thank you guys. I'm honored to have these. But I was like, how was it? And they're like, it was fun. But they all had kind of stopped drinking because it was so hot too. So they were like, because I was telling them they could stay over if they needed to. So they didn't have to drive back because I didn't want people driving home drunk. But they were like, we honestly stopped drinking because it was so hot. Like, we're all sober too. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like, I don't want you to not like feel like you're not welcome because I was sick. Like, that was my own bad. And also I'm much better because it was definitely heat stroke. Like, now I'm drinking water. I ate a cheesesteak because that was like the only thing we had here. And Joe heated it up for me. Cheesesteak with mayo. Another one from Market Basket. You know, they're really good. I know that sounds crazy. If you haven't had it, you're probably like, Julie, you sound like white trash. But it's really good. Joe put mayo on it. And like, I just thought it had extra cheese. But it was good. And I'm not anti-mayo, but I don't know if I would have eaten it if he had told me that before. But now I know it's good. It doesn't really change anything. It just tastes more cheesy, I guess. But I do want them to come on the podcast later on. I know Megan really wants to come on. And so I definitely, she'll be on here, you know. It just not from last weekend. But it was a really fun event. I'd love to go again in the future. Sierra made me feel a lot better because she told me that during Rebecca Black's set, and I'm sure other sets too, they had to stop to just like let the medics come in and like get people out of there that were literally super sick. And although I felt bad for those people, she sent me a TikTok the next day that was like some guy getting out of, I think it was like BMC or something, and being like, I survived, like, Out Loud Fest. Like, see you next year, Suffolk Downs. And I was like, that's so real. And I feel bad for those people, but I'm happy that I was not the only one because it was embarrassing. But now that we're on the topic of the heat wave, you know, let's just talk about how to survive it for a moment. You know, stay in the AC if it's really hot out. Like, I'm not talking about now that it's like 70s, like 80s aren't bad unless the humidity's high. But if it's like nonstop hot like that, you got to think like your dehydration builds up over time. If you're not replenishing yourself, it's not like you just plug your, like, yeah, like you sleep and you get more energy, but you're not getting more food and water too. Like, you also have to make sure you're taking care of those things. And I'm talking about these 100-degree, 90-degree days that we've been having. Stay in the AC though, and I know you might think it looks nerdy, but you should wear a hat, wear a sun shirt, especially if you're a pale person like me. Obviously, drink water. Eat food with a high water content for hydration, like watermelon and stuff. And you can use fans to cool off, like the handheld fans. You can do the ones that can like spray water. They're like electric. I got one of those in Mexico when we were sick. But good luck out there, people, because for some reason the wind had stopped. I don't know why, but like it was so hot and there was literally no wind. Like, I live right near the water and there was no wind on like the 100-degree day. It was horrible. I didn't even go outside. I didn't have to work, so I was like, I can't leave the apartment. I'm leaving the shade shut because it's going to be way too hot, and it was. But good luck out there, people, especially there's another heat wave later in the summer too. We got to be safe. All right, so I kind of have a fun question I'd like to see some responses on that I just saw online. So while planning for this episode, I saw a question on YouTube, which, all right, I know what you're going to say. Like, Julie, why do you go on, like, YouTube Shorts? Why are you on there? It's like, you know I love that shit. Come on, leave me alone. But, oh, speaking of YouTube, and this is a side tangent, and then I'll go back and read this question. I saw this post the other day. It literally broke my mind. I don't know if this was the caption on the post or if it was just a picture of them or what, but I remember it might have been one of the top comments, but someone said, how did Shane fumble so bad with it? How did Shane even pull her? And I think her name was Lisa or Liza. I think it was Lisa. And that was like a YouTube couple that was buried so deep in my brain. I totally forgot about it. And it just felt like 100 years ago. And I literally had like almost like war flashbacks, being like, oh my God, that opened up a whole memory of my life I forgot. I'll try to find the photo, because those of you who used to, I don't even think I said the last name, that used to watch Shane Dawson and stuff, which is all of us. Okay, don't lie to me. But it was those formative years. We all watched the conspiracy theories and shit later on too. Come on. He has been canceled time and time again, and he has made many a comeback, but I don't know if it'll happen again. But back to the question I saw on YouTube. But who would be the best sidekick pet? So the options were Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon or River. I'm excited for that live action movie. It looks pretty good. Scooby-Doo from obviously live action Scooby-Doo, or the other Scooby-Doo, but we are live action, so Baby Groot or Hedwig from Harry Potter. So I'm kind of surprised Pikachu wasn't on that list, but going based off of these four, I'm obviously going to go Scooby-Doo. I mean, come on. Me and Scooby would smoke weed together all day and eat big sandwiches and whatever. And on top of that, I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan. I always have. And obviously I have to go with a fan favorite. Baby Groot is cute, but it doesn't even talk. It's like, what am I going to do with it? And same with Hedwig. And it is beautiful. It's a beautiful creature, but I think having an owl would kind of freak me out. And the whole poop situation with the owl, I wouldn't like. A dog I can handle. I've done dog before. Toothless would actually be cool, and having a dragon would be awesome, and it's so cute, and I like those movies when I was younger and everything, but I am way too much of a pussy to ride a dragon realistically. Like, be fucking for real. Even, like, riding horses kind of makes me nervous. Not to sound like a crazy person, though, but on to another topic. Why is it so hard to... I forgot I wrote this last night. Why is it so hard to rally the coworkers to go out after work? I mean, all I want to do after work is, like, literally go home and take a shower where I pumice my face, neck, everything to get all the germs off and then go to bed. But I am, unfortunately, also someone that loves to give into peer pressure. I love to have a fun time and do fun things. So if it comes down to it, I force myself to do things. But it's kind of crazy how much I kind of sometimes give into peer pressure because I low-key can be stubborn too. I mean, I'm an adult. I'm not a fucking baby. But there are certain things that if it's not a big deal, I'll be like, all right, fuck it. Let's just do it. But that's my cross to bear, okay? My cross to bear. One of my coworkers, though, he's always trying to get us to do stuff, and it's honestly so fun. I love that about him. It brings, I feel like, the vibe, all of us closer, and, like, when I was a nurse's aide, I feel like people would go out more, but I wouldn't do the 12-hour shifts, so, like, they would be going out after I would have already gone home, so I was like, oh, no. Or I'd be staying later than them if I did 3 to 11 or whatever. And then people weren't going out as much. But now I feel like recently they have been and I feel like he's really been rallying the troops, and it's been fun because I feel like we're all getting closer, and it's just fun. I mean, I work with a lot of, I don't think people realize this, in the hospital, in the inpatient setting. Like, I work with people of all ages, obviously patients and staff members alike, but for the most part, everyone's like on the younger side, and I work with a bunch of fun, cool young people that want to chill, and they're chill to hang with. So why would we not do that? But the reason I even added this to my bullet point list of things to talk about was because my coworker Timmy kept trying to get us all to go out, and I wasn't against the idea. I thought it was so fun, and I was like, yes. But on Wednesday he wanted us to go out, and I was like, I can't. I gotta work tomorrow. I can't handle that. I'm too much of a baby. I need my sleep and everything. And then I was like, but I'm working tomorrow, and so is so and so and whatever, and I'll try to rally the troops and see what we can do. But then I slept horribly, so I was so tired, and then no one else wanted to do anything. But I told him, I said, he's going to hit me up and be like, what are we doing tonight? And I was like, you guys got to come out. And then he did that, and I was like, no one will come. And he was like, that's so lame. But I was like, we'll do it another time. If I had a little more energy, I probably would have tried to force a couple of them to go. But next time. But it is fun. I mean, if obviously, like, be professional and everything else, but it's like if you're with people like that all the time, I feel like you get really close, and it's fun, and it's fun to do fun things. I don't know, not that crazy of a concept. But last thing I want to talk about before we get to my sessions list is obviously the 4th of July, because this episode is going to be posted a few days before that, and it's a great time to bring it up. And if you know me, you know that I love all holidays of every kind. I obviously love Christmas. I'm like, then I love this, and I love just every single fucking holiday. And obviously St. Patrick's Day, my Irish ass. But I often say my 3 favorite holidays are New Year's Eve, Halloween, and the 4th, because the other holidays are fun too. Even the more formal ones are awesome. But then you have the stress of having everyone over and everything. And I feel like these 3 are a little bit more low stress, and you're usually partying anyways, and you have to dress up. And I fucking love to dress up. I love a theme. It's the most fun thing ever, you know? And trust that I am judging you if you have the chance to do it and you don't. You don't look cool. You're not fun. You're a fucking loser, dude. Like, at least do a low effort outfit. Like, I would rather you wore red, white, and blue. Like, even just like, especially for the 4th of July, how hard is it to wear red, white, and blue? It's so low commitment. You literally can wear a white t-shirt and blue jeans and, like, a red lip if you want, or just that. It's like, I'd rather you did that than just having a cute outfit. Obviously, if it's, like, you had, like, a cool, somewhat related thing that maybe wasn't the right colors, like, that would also be, like, some, like, I don't know, if it was, like, an army thing and you were in the army, I could see you wanting to do, like, black and yellow, maybe? This is, as you can see, I don't have a great sense of military things, but I do understand why, for Trump's entire presidency, another 4th of July lover, Miss Taylor Swift, did not celebrate the 4th. Also, I don't know if it would even be considered treason, because she was living in England at the time, so I don't even know if she would have been allowed to. But then during Biden's presidency, she started posting again, and I don't blame her, and I respect it. But sometimes I feel like maybe I should do that, because I'm like, fuck that guy. But it's like, there's a lot of things about America that I'm not proud of, and I'm like, fuck that, and fuck you guys that endorse that. But I love being American. But I hate those people that try to poison what it means to be American, you know? They give me unbearable second-hand embarrassment. I hate it. And they have taken so much from us. It's like, let me have this. I'm from New England. If you're from one of the original 13 colonies, I know you 4th of July harder than anyone. It's like, why are you trying to ruin this patrioticness for us? Like, I'm not for nationalism, but I like being patriotic. Like, I think it's fun. It's like repping your sports team or, you know, getting your last name on a t-shirt. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just fun. It's like, it gives you an excuse to dress up. And they've taken so much from us. They've taken abortion from us. You know, let us have this, dude. They're about to take Red 40. They're about to throw me in a fucking ADHD concentration camp. But it's the perfect excuse to get together in the summer. And my boyfriend's boat is finally fixed. You know, I'm celebrating a colonial 4th of July, not a modern day one. Also, I literally am working the 3rd and 4th, so it'll be a late night celebration if I do anything, or a July 5th celebration, or I guess if I get earned time and they don't make me work, woohoo, because, you know, the holidays are always overstaffed because we gotta work them. But, oh my god, I should probably bring something to work, too. I didn't even think of that. People always bring food and stuff in, and I always forget because I don't think of it, especially because I'm doing 2 days in a row, but all right, I gotta brainstorm that. But like I was saying, if you live in New England, or I'm sure the rest of the original 13, it's like, we tend to go pretty hard for the 4th, because so many Revolutionary War era events happened here. Like, walking around this area, it's literally like a time capsule, especially if you know where to look. A few years ago, it was literally so foggy when we were trying to watch the fireworks at Crocker Park. It was impossible. And I don't know if that specifically is a historical area, but Marblehead has a lot of historical things. And it was literally impossible, though. It was so foggy. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was insane. And it looked like bombs going off in movies when it's like smoke everywhere and it's just the flashes of lights behind the smoke. Then we were like, all right, I guess like we'll stay and watch this, but there's not really much to watch. So I guess let's start heading back soon. And then some people, I don't know who they were because they definitely weren't with me, were lighting fireworks off like in between the houses on these narrow ass roads. It was insane. I'm like, I'm going to freak. You guys are stressing me out. There's power lines. But luckily, thank God nothing happened. Nothing caught on fire. And I just literally always see the most out-of-pocket things when I'm out with Joe's friends. I'm just like, oh my God. Something about, like, this combination brings a weird vibe to the night. But I will say we always have a good time, especially for the 4th. And I'm not sure what their plan is yet or what Joe's doing, or if I'm even doing anything. I'd like to do something when I get out of work, but we'll see. But if we do something, I'm sure it'll end up being fun. Also, so this is still on the topic of the 4th, and this might sound like an insane person confession, but my entire life, that song, God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood, always brings a tear to my eye. You know, it's like, that's insane of me, but obviously I was too young to remember 9/11. I remember, I don't even know how old I was. I was maybe like 3rd grade, 4th grade when I learned about it, because I just saw videos recently of like little kids learning about it, and it's like little kids that I guess they could have a grandparent or something that had died 9/11 or something, and that might be why, if they're from New York. But when I was like in kindergarten, I do not think I knew what 9/11 was. I don't think it was, because it happened when I was like 1, and it's like, why would it be brought up? I'm probably not even watching the news. I'm too young, you know. Just like never was part of my convos I was having. But I do remember being a little older and learning about it and being like, what the fuck? But I'm not a dinosaur, you know, I don't remember 9/11. But I do think that post 9/11 performance of that song, I think it was at the Yankees, it was ingrained into my head because we watched it so many times in classes and stuff. When I did have a teacher that told us her 9/11 story and stuff. It was awful, but it was ingrained into my head in my youth, that song, that performance specifically. And I think that's why I just get so emotional. And I gotta tell you guys, I emotionally project onto these things. I really, like, I'm sure this is a little unrelated, but I guess it's very unrelated, but it's relatable to me. I'm sure you guys all listen to Mayhem by Lady Gaga that came out earlier this year. It's awesome. I love it. I could go all out about it, but as you guys may know, I'm gonna go with the best song on the album, but if maybe not the best to you, one of the best, Vanish Into You. I fucking love that song. And like, that's one of those songs, like, kind of like this one, that I really put my all into and get that emotional, get really emotionally into it, and then I'm crying and really doing the performance. But I was driving my car a couple months ago. It was like maybe a month after the song came out, and driving the car with Joe, and I have the song on really loud because I'm singing it, like, and I was like, my I don't know, like, my allergies had been really, I guess it was probably before my allergies got bad this spring, but I was clear, my voice was sounding good, I was so into this song, I had the perfect breast support, and I'm singing the song, and at the end, I'm like, you know, I'm like, wow, she really put her whole pussy into that. And Joe was like, yeah, so did you, girl. So did you. And I was like, oh my God. But I was like, people should pay for this performance. You know, I'm like, I wish that album came out for my birthday so when we did karaoke. I could have done that, but just gives me an excuse to go back, you know? Oh my God, Alicia's doing karaoke for her birthday tomorrow night, but I'm going to a wedding. I mean, obviously I'm going to have a great time at my cousin Anna's wedding. It's going to be so fun. I'm so happy for her and Zach. But I just wish they were on different nights so I could do the karaoke too, because I hate to miss out on a karaoke moment. So other songs besides God Bless the USA that would be on my 4th of July playlist, just off the dome. I'm sure there's obviously more because I'm only listing like 5 right now, but Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, of course. And before you guys say anything, I know that song is a song criticizing the U.S. I have media literacy capabilities. But I'm kind of all for criticizing the U.S. because that's my job as a tax-paying citizen to tell them what to do. Surfing USA by the Beach Boys, love it. Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, duh. America by Neil Diamond really brings up those feelings of the Irish-American immigration to the U.S. Those ancestral feelings in me. But 4th of July by Fall Out Boy. All right, I know it may be kind of controversial, but that album, Defined, 2015 for me, you know, American Beauty, American Psycho. I love that song. And then Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince by Taylor Swift. Obviously just because it says Americana in it, but I fucking love that song. And Holy Ground by Taylor Swift just has that, you know, I'm going out with Bobby Kennedy, not Junior, the OG, down the Cape, you know, that kind of vibe. I just ruined my whole day by bringing the Junior up. I ruined my own day. But, oh my God. And of course, Made in the USA by Demi Lovato. That song is so good. Her vocals are so crisp. I love it. I'm going to go listen to it after this. But, duh. And American Woman by The Guess Who, which, if you've ever seen The Cable Guy, you should watch. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. They perform that song, and it's so good. But I love that song. It's a great song. But there's definitely more too, but that's what I'm going to go with for now, at least. So let me know anything else that would be on your 4th of July playlist, because I'll have to add it to mine. Obviously, the other one is Last Great American Dynasty. It just really gives summer Cape Cod vibe, and I love that song. A lot of Taylor Swift, obviously. That's kind of a common staple for me in my life. But now what you've all been waiting for, the Slightly Obsessed list for this episode. So I just watched this movie, I think it's from the 80s or 90s, called Copycat with Joe the other day. And it's about this guy who's like in the FBI at the CIA, and he's working with this other woman. They're like partners or whatever, agent partners. And they want to interview this lady who had an encounter with she'd worked for the government, I think, and had an encounter with a serial killer in the past and lived. And there's someone, they're like, we see all these murders and we think they might be connected. And she was like, I was thinking the same thing because I watched the news and whatever. And long story short, the whole reason it's called Copycat is because there's a serial killer that's copying the characteristics of different serial killer patterns. And like, I love true crime. I think it's a pretty interesting movie. And like, I kind of was worried. Sigourney Weaver's in it, so I knew it was going to be good. But like, at first I was like, oh, hopefully this is good. And like, because I'd never heard of it though. So I was like, hopefully it is really good. And I just had never heard of it. And it wasn't just like not that great. And that's why I hadn't heard of it. But it is an older movie, but it was great. I think you guys should watch it. And definitely something to check out if you guys love true crime or scary movies or whatever. Definitely more of, in the scary movie category, it's more of like Silence of the Lamb vibe than like horror, you know? But it has its moments. So if you guys have ever been to Takis in North Andover, it's actually really good. I used to drive by it all the time going to UMass Amherst, but you guys should go. They have subs named after the local streets, and like they're all different, but they have the best steak tip kebab, and I love getting it in the summer and stuff, like going to the pool or whatever. But I didn't mean to hit my headphone against the mic, but it's really good. You guys should check it out if you live in the area or if you're over there. Quinn, my friend that was on the podcast a few episodes ago, actually, I got in the mail, which me and Joe like never open the mailbox because we don't often get mail in the packages. They like lets us. It's a different spot you pick up packages, but Quinn had sent me a typewritten letter just being like, hey, like, I hope you're doing well, like we should get together soon, and like just saying like some funny things or whatever. Like, I just got the new typewriter or whatever, like just writing some letters and stuff. And it was postmarked for a few days before I asked Quinn to come on the podcast about the idea for doing it and everything. And it was just so funny. I love that Maddie Healy Tortured Poets Department, Poets Department, not apartment, aesthetic. I fucking love that song too. For people who don't like that song, death to you. But I love the typewriter aesthetic, and I thought it was so fun. And I was like, we really manifested that podcast appearance. But me and Joe just were watching Mo on Netflix. It was actually really good. It's about a Palestinian refugee. He's like an illegal immigrant in Texas, but it's kind of interesting because I was like, I always think of when I'm thinking of like when people are talking about illegal immigrants, people being deported, like more Hispanic people and people from South America, but I didn't even think about it because I'm thinking a lot of the Palestinian refugees are in Europe just because we're so far, but obviously there are some here. I mean, I have family friends that their family came over because of that, but they were legal. They didn't come over as refugees. They were legal here or something. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but Mo is a really good show. And I think you guys should check it out. We're like, why is there only 2 seasons? Like, it ended on a note. I guess it was supposed to be 2. That's what Mo said, the real guy. But it's like, we could go into another season. Like, come on. It was good. And Joe was even like, I was on his Instagram the other day, and all the comments were literally like, give us Mo season 3. So other people agree. But I'm going to shout out Garçon Super Slice, partially because I puked it up at Out Loud Fest. But they had it as one of the vendors there, and they have such good pizza. I go to the one in Salem sometimes, and I love their pizza. Their slices are so good. You guys should check it out if you haven't been. And song that has been recently, I've been listening to all the time, is No Broke Boys by Disco Lines and Tinashe. It's so fucking good. You guys got to check it out. All right. Last but not least, I want to shout out a few people that have been some big supporters of the podcast. Alicia and Quinn, obviously, thank you so much for coming on. You're always welcome back. I really appreciate it. My friend Megan, Emily SK, who gave me the idea for the Male Loneliness Pod, Shelby, Calvin, and honestly, there's more people. I've got Erica. I've gotten a lot of great responses. I've got a lot of people saying they want to come on. So some exciting things for the future. I really appreciate all the feedback and support from everyone. And yeah, if you guys want to hear anything or let me know anything, just reach out. But that's all for today. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Please tell your friends and follow us on Instagram at HFSFpod for updates and more. Let me know if there's anything you want to see on the podcast, if there's any situations you need advice on, or anything else you want me to know. You know, even if you just see a funny meme and you want to send it to me, please do. I'd actually enjoy that. I'll probably put it on my story. But bye, guys.